So that's right, today we're going to be going over my complete vinyl collection on Joe Bonamassa. Hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now today we're going over the one, the only, we're going over Joe Bonamassa. I can already tell, barely half of you probably know who this guy is. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you how I got into him, and I'm going to tell you a bit about him. So Joe Bonamassa started in the year 2000. That was when his first album came out, I believe. It might have been 99. It doesn't say, it's just a bloody reissue. I'm pretty sure the first album came out in 2000, if not it was 2001. And he is basically a modern blues guitarist. He was influenced by many blues musicians, such as the Kings, Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, Eric Clapton, and some of the best guitarists of all time, such as B.B. King, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix. So he's basically taken all of those things on board and turned them into a very modern sounding blues. A little bit heavy at times, but very cool. And how did I get into Joe Bonamassa? I have a very good friend here in the vinyl community to thank for that, and that is the one, the only vinyl collector, James. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard his name come up on my channel before. And he is one of the most diverse people I know when it comes to music, and he managed to convince me to get Joe's latest album, Blues of Desperation. Loved it, and my collection has grown from there. So at this point in time, we are coming up to the end of 2016. So Joe likes to release a lot of things each year. So anything past 2016 from Joe Bonamassa, for those of you who are watching many years from now, I do not own them. So we're going to go up to Live at the Greek Theatre here. Also, I am missing a couple things, but the couple things I'm missing, I'm generally not interested in. Joe Bonamassa has done a few things. He's got his solo career. He goes with a lady called Beth Hart on a couple albums. He's in a band called Rock Candy Funk Party. And he's also in a band called Black Communion. Or is it Black Country Communion? I think it's Black Country Communion. I haven't bought the Black Country Communion stuff. And I would buy it if it was instrumental, because I think the music on it is great. But the lead singer, who they've got, because it's not Joe, in that band, I don't like. So I know I won't play them. So I didn't buy them. Also, there's these 4 identical live albums that come out in 2015 called Tour de Force. And as they're all identical, I didn't see the point in getting them. So I haven't actually got them. But other than that, I do own everything from Joe. I have everything with his name on it. Every proper solo release from him, plus the Beth Hart stuff, plus the Rock Candy Funk Party stuff. And I believe that this is all in order as well of release. So anyway, there's a lot to go over here. 27 records. So let's get started. So the debut album is called A New Day Yesterday. And we've got some pylons here. The cover is... I don't get it. But anyway, this album is great. We've got Cradle Rock, which opens it, which is fantastic. Miss You, Hate You is, of course, the standout track from this album. And, of course, the title track, A New Day Yesterday, is incredible. So, yeah, this is a must-have album, that's for sure. His second album is where it gets really good. This is probably my third favourite Joe album. This one is called So It's Like That. And it has my favourite Joe Bonamassa song on, My Mistake, which I had playing in the intro for this video. Then we got Lie Number 1, which is fantastic. Unbroken, Waiting for Me, Mountain Time. You know, this album here is a bit more heavy. That first one kind of sounds just like modern rock. You wouldn't really think it was much of a blues guy, apart from a couple tracks, obviously. This album is modern. This album is more heavy blues. But as I say, My Mistake is probably my favourite Joe Bonamassa song. And then, because the album A New Day Yesterday was pretty well received, he done a live version of it called Master Tape Control Vinyl. So this is basically just the live version of the album. Double vinyl, his first double vinyl, and also his first gatefolded album. But as I say, it really is just the entire album with a couple things like the jam intro added on over the top. yeah, so really entertaining actually, because I've always found with Joe and all these blues guys, they're a lot better live. Point proven. So the third studio album up, just showing off that he is a blues guy, is Blues Deluxe. And here we go, the first proper picture of him on an album there. So yeah, this one's really good. You've got Blues Deluxe is actually probably the best track on here, I think. Leftovers is good actually. And I really like You Upset Me Baby, the opening track. So yeah, that's really cool. Not my favourite Joe album, but I do really like it. Then here we've got one of my least favourite Joe albums, but I do really like it still. And I love the cover. And it's Had to Cry Today. I don't know why, I just really like this cover. It's just cool. So this album here, you have Travelling South, which is good. And then you got Round the Bend, which is good. But for me, again, the best track on here is the title track. Had to Cry Today is the best track on here. And then the fifth studio album up is his heavy one. This is quite heavy. This is called You and Me. And even the cover looks like it was done by some heavy metal artist. I'm trying to get the cover to show off well if I do it like that. Yeah, this one, what do we got on here? So Many Roads. I like that one. I Don't Believe That was pretty good. Django. Other than that, again, this album here is not really my style of music, but I still like it. There's still enough good stuff on here, which I really do enjoy it. But, as I say, it's not my favourite style of music, so I can't say it's my favourite Joe album. Okay, I'm going to have a quick drink. Okay, next one up is a lot of people's favourite Joe album. I'd probably say it's my fourth favourite after Blues Deluxe. No, not Blues Deluxe. Blues of Desperation, sorry. Black Rock. So It's Like That. And then I'd put this one in at number 4. And yeah, it's Sloe Gin. Now, a lot of people actually know this album. This is quite a popular album. Even though the name Joe Bonamassa is not massively well known in households at the minute. This one's really good. On this one, you've got the title track, Sloe Gin, is brilliant, and Jelly Roll is fantastic. However, Bell Pen Hammer's really good. One of These Days is great. Seagull, really good. And then the whole B-side is pretty much a steal. So again, another really fantastic record from Joe. Definitely one of his better ones here. And I love that cover. I see this picture, the thumbnail on Amazon, and I thought, you know, it looks a bit cheesy. I mean, it's big on Amazon. But then when you actually get the record, the cover, like the detail that's gone into it and whatnot, is just awesome. So, really like it. Then we get his first proper live album, because we had the New Day Yesterday one live, but this is like the first compilation of songs live. And this one here is just called Live From Nowhere in Particular. Don't like the cover, but the music is fantastic. He does a lot, of course, from Sloe Gin on this one. But he does another couple tracks on here as well, which is nice. Like he does a New Day Yesterday, Django from You and Me. So he does some good stuff on here still. It's a bit of, mainly made up. 3/4 of it is definitely from Sloe Gin, but there's some other stuff on here as well, which is very cool. And here we get one of my other favourite Joe albums. This would probably be my 5th one after Sloe Gin. Or maybe on a good days you might actually catch me saying it's better than Sloe Gin. Really underrated album here from the Joe fans, I think. So a lot of Joe fans tend to overlook this one, but I think this one's solid. The Ballad of John Henry. Now the title track, again, is the best one, I think. The title track is incredible. And then we got Stop, which is great. Last Kiss. Story of a Quarryman is great. Feeling Good's a lot of fun. The Great Flood is brilliant. Again, this is really an incredible album. This one here has a lot going for it, actually. Definitely recommend this one. And this is my favourite live album from Joe. This is Live at the Royal Albert Hall. So yeah, number 1, awesome cover. Love it. And here we are. Here's the back. And yeah, he covers a lot on here. He does a real mixture. That's why I like this one. So he goes all the way back to You and Me, where he does Django again. He does the Ballad of John Henry. He does a couple other tracks off there, like Last Kiss and Stop. He also does Sloe Gin, Blues Deluxe, The Great Flood, Mountain Time. So he does a lot on here. Also, he does Further On Up the Road, very famous blues song. And Mr. Eric Clapton comes out to sing and play guitar with him. So, fantastic there. My two favourite blues / guitarists playing together. So I was like, pretty good stuff. And this is my second favourite Joe album. This was also in my top 50 albums of all time. Black Rock. Love this album. Hate the cover though. Hate the cover. This one he actually went out to Spain to record. Got a very Spanish influenced sound to it. Especially on tracks like Athens and Bird on a Wire. Which are my two favourites. Then we got some other tracks like Quarryman's Lament. Spanish Boots, which was really good. Look Over Yonder's Wall. Look Over Yonder's Wall. Sorry, my bad. Blue and Evil, really good. The opening track, Steal Your Heart Away, is fantastic. So yeah, again, a really, really good album. And then we get another really good album that follows it up. And probably my favourite cover that Joe's put out, because Joe doesn't have great covers. But this is Dust Bowl. I love that cover. Look at that. That's going to go in the thumbnail. We got Slow Train, which is one of his best songs. Dust Bowl, which I think is probably my favourite track on this album. And the rest of it is a little bit average. It's not one of Joe's best, but it's not one of his worst. But them opening two tracks are incredible. Anyway, I'm going to have to have a quick drink now, though, because my mouth is getting really dry. And we're empty. That's not a good sign. Anyway, pushing on. We've got the first album up with Beth Hart. And Beth Hart is basically a female version of Joe who doesn't play guitar. Easiest way to sum it up. She's got a brilliant voice. Brilliant voice. And this album is called Don't Explain. And yeah, I really am not massively familiar with his albums with Beth. Because I like hearing Joe sing. I like his voice. You know, one of the reasons why I've got all of his stuff. So I don't play the Beth stuff as much. So I can't really comment on the tracks as well here. But I remember really liking the track Chocolate Jesus. So, yeah. And there's the tracks. Another album from Joe which I really liked. This would be very high on my list if I was to rank them as well. This is Driving Towards Daylight. Where Dislocated Boy and Driving Towards Daylight are easily my two favourite songs on here. I love them. He also does Robert Johnson's Stones in My Pathway, which is fantastic. And the album is just filled with other brilliant tracks like Lonely Town, Lonely Street, New Coat of Paint, I Got All You Need. So yeah, this is just an incredibly fun album. Really like it. Then here we have Joe Bonamassa live from the Beacon Theatre in New York. So this is a double vinyl. This is a double vinyl live album, which is really cool because he does a lot of mixture of stuff on here again, including some stuff from Black Rock. So, and he doesn't do that stuff very often because, oh, pardon me, because it's harder to create that stuff with Spanish influence and whatnot. So I'm really pleased that he is actually paying that album some note on here. So really good. I'll hold that up for the track listing. Okay, next one up is going to be the Joe Bonamassa, An Acoustic Evening at the Vienna Opera House. So this is kind of like an unplugged album. He basically strips down all of his songs here and does nice acoustic versions of them. He does a good mixture. Does a lot of stuff from Driving Towards Daylight, like he does Stones in My Password. Password. Stones in My Password. Slow Train. What else we got? We got Seagulls on here. It's hard to read the tracks because it's awful how they do this. But yeah, it's a triple vinyl. No, it's a double vinyl. My bad, double vinyl this set. But very cool sound from Joe. And here we've got the first Rock Candy Funk Party album, and it's called We Want Groove. Now this is all instrumental stuff, and Joe of course just does guitar. Here are the other members, and there's the tracks. So I can't really speak too much of these albums because I haven't paid them lots of attention, but they're very good instrumental music, so yeah. And then we get another Beth Hart album. This one here is called Seesaw, and again I really don't like this cover, it's very cheesy. This one I actually prefer to Don't Explain, I know that. But yeah, again, not massively familiar, so I'm going to hold the tracks up there for you guys to take a peek at if you want to give this album a try. And then the most exciting release from Joe and Beth, in my opinion, their live album. And I say it because you get all the tracks from their first two albums on it. It's a triple vinyl set, it is a heavy bugger. So you get a lot in here, it's so heavy, really nice and thick as well. So there's the cover, there's the back with all the songs. Look at that, chucks full. And yeah, so this is really good, really solid live album here. Okay, next up we've got Joe's second to last studio album from where we are now in his career. Different Shades of Blue. This isn't his best album, but I really like it still. The title track is brilliant. We got tracks like Hey Baby, which is fantastic. Oh Beautiful. Trouble Town's pretty good. So there's some really good moments on here, but there's no doubt it's not as good as what come before this, Driving Towards Daylight. It's not as good as what comes after this, Blues of Desperation. But it's still a good album. And we got the second and last album for now from Rock Candy Funk Party, and it's called Groove is King. So yeah, again, not really much to say about this one. Got the tracks on the back here, and then at the bottom there we have the lineup of the band. I believe it had changed a bit between the first album and the second one. And then next up we have a nice triple live vinyl set again. Joe Bonamassa's Muddy Wolf at Red Rocks live album. So yeah, basically just doing Muddy Wolf stuff here, which is fantastic. The Red Rocks is a beautiful place to perform, so it's really nice. Basically the first record you get all muddy stuff, a bit muddy, and then Wolf, and then on the bottom one you get some Joe stuff. So we do get some Joe stuff at the bottom there. That's Oh Baby, Oh Beautiful, Love Ain't a Love Song, Sloe Gin, The Ballad of John Henry, Mississippi, Heartbreak, and Muddy Wolf credits. So, yeah, pretty good live album there. We get another live album. Probably my least favourite live album Joe's done. It's only a double live album, and generally there's not as much to offer on this one. Still good though. Live at Radio City Music Hall. So yeah, again, my least favourite one, but it's still a good time. Still worth picking up and giving a try. So, yeah. And last two up, here we go. My favourite Joe Bonamassa album from 2016. Blues of Desperation. Absolutely love this album. This is incredible. From This Train to Mountain Climbing, No Good Place for the Lonely. The Valley Runs Low is incredible. Love that song. How Deep This River Runs is also really great. Living Easy, brilliant song. So yeah, if you want to get into albums from 2016, you got to own this one. Got to own it. The very last album, the very last release from Joe Bonamassa I have to show is Live at the Greek Theatre. Again, a triple vinyl live set, of course, from the Three Kings. So, all cover songs of the Three Kings. So there we are, there's the tracks if you want to go over them. Also, he does a cover of Riding with the King right at the end. Yeah, it's okay. But anyway, there is my Joe Bonamassa vinyl collection. I implore you guys to, I really recommend that you check him out. But I'm going to give you some stuff to check out from him. I'd say The Valley Runs Low from his most recent album, Blues of Desperation. Mountain Climbing from his most recent album, Blues of Desperation. My Mistake from his second album. And to show how different he can be when he wants to be, Birds on a Wire from Black Rock. I will say go check them songs out. They're my personal favourite Joe songs right there, probably. But anyway, as I say, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video and leave a message. And I'll see you guys next time for another video. See you guys later. Driving so